Lately, I've been playing this game called Demeo on my Oculus Quest. It's super addicting. It's a very fun dungeon crawler. It gives me serious Dungeon and Dragon vibes. You can play it online with your friends or single player. And last week they added an update that allows you to paint miniatures, and we're going to check this out together. Wow! You can do multiplayer quick play. Obviously you can host a game and invite people, or join a game if someone else is hosting. And you can of course also do single player. What I want to check out today is the Heroes Hangout. I want to do a private session just so that I can check out everything on my own. Okay, here's the Heroes Hangout. Yeah, that would be me on my first retail job. Excuse me, this board game doesn't have a price tag on. Does it mean it's free? Oh, Catacombs and Demons. I see what they did there. Oh, sorry. Yeah, oh. Okay. Oh, is this the miniatures? Hold on. Imagine we could be painting this. That would be super awesome. Get some nice shading. Nice highlights. So if you need a reference for your next phase, make a screenshot now. Changing room, okay. Let's see. Yep, that's what we're going with. What's this? Oh, I see. Yep, that's me. I think we're good. Oh, here you can shoot some bows and arrows. Let's try that. You got to hold the bow like this, because that's real gangster. Oh, I see the painting room. Let's see, gotta sit down. Oh look, they have a cenital pre-shading. Palette pal, okay. 3 brushes, an airbrush. Okay, here's other miniatures. There's like an egg-shaped thing. A little gnome with a tablet. Another gnome, like a warrior type. And even a canvas, if you want to practice your freehands. Okay, let's start this one. You can even adjust your table. When you want to sit down and do some painting and the beat drops. What's going on with that face? Oh, that's nifty. It's floating in the air. It's going to be interesting to see how this works with the shading already being there. Like you saw, I was a bit irritated by the fact that you retained all the shadows when applying the base color. But that's not impossible to do in real mini painting either. If you do a cenital pre-shading, for example, and then worked with inks or transparent paints. Imagine that one pass coverage with real paints. Naturally, we would like to highlight this. I'll pick a bright color and I'll apply some. Oh, okay. That's quite thick. Okay. I think there's an undo button. Okay. Undo this too. Wait, thinner. Is this thin yellow paint? I don't think it is it? Okay, so that deletes color. This was a completely new experience and approach, and I had to find out what was possible to do, what the rule set and boundaries were that the system and the tools allowed. I still wanted to apply highlights though. So basically we're limited to layering. Blending was not an option, because there was no way to thin the paint. I still wanted to at least try, and I started with a volumetric light sketch. I didn't quite like the result, and it was not really easy to control the paint either. I had to find another way to make this interesting. First, I decided to work a lot with painted on features, something we usually do towards the end of a paint job to add storytelling. Painted on scratches or imperfections, or like in this case, face paint. I took a greenish white and added a painted on skull to the face. And this would go perfectly with the large eyes. The way the nose is shaped is going to tie right in with the skull, cheekbones. I had a lot of fun playing Demeo in the last few weeks, and even though I would have probably made this digital painting video anyway, I'm happy that Resolution Games decided to support the channel and to sponsor this video. Up to 4 players can join forces in Demeo, the epic dungeon crawler that tackles the RPG genre like at least I have never seen before. You can play as a hunter, sorcerer, assassin, bard or guardian archetype in exciting turn-based co-op scenarios that feel like Dungeons and Dragons on steroids. The feeling of sitting at a table with your friends, the atmosphere, the effects, and the way the game is narrated are super immersive and entertaining. Your party will go on adventures, explore vast dungeons, battle relentless foes, and will find glory and rich treasure on these virtual gaming nights in this truly authentic tabletop experience. There's currently 3 adventures available, with 2 more on the horizon and the PvP mode set to release in the near future. So there's going to be a steady support of new and exciting stories to be experienced with your friends. Aside from the main game, there is so many activities you can do in the world of Demeo. You can chill out in the Heroes Hangout that acts as a social hub to find new adventure-ready players and for you and your friends to interact with and play all kinds of mini games. Let's do a headshot. Headshot. Ooh, that was a nut shot. And do other social activities. The game is available on Meta Oculus and Rift as well as Steam VR, and there's also a PC version if you don't own any VR setup. Cross-play between all of these platforms will make sure that no matter in which way you are enjoying Demeo, you and your friends can always experience these epic adventures together. Find Demeo in the store of your VR platform or follow the links in the description for the PC version. Another important aspect in mini painting that would still work was, of course, color choice and contrast. On something that we call a real color wheel, green and purples are complementary colors, so I decided to make the eyes purple to contrast against the green. As far as blending goes, I was limited to layering. It feels a bit like painting in the 90s, where layers were the best blending method we had. Wait, I didn't paint in the 90s. So I layered on as many in-between colors as possible in the middle of the eyes to create an inner glow effect. Any effect that would not rely heavily on blending in real mini painting would also work here. So I used the same effect that works on gems and placed the specular highlight dots on the top right area of the eye. If you would like to dive deeper into that and if you have missed it, it's all explained in the gemstone painting video I released a few days ago. In my opinion, that effect turned out really amazing. Need a bit of a break, this is really intense. Trouble is I can't quite place a hand here. I feel like this is a beginner simulator. If you want to feel like a beginner miniature painter again and you don't know what you're doing with your brush strokes, this is the app for you. But it's really fun so far. It's just really exhausting. Thank God for the undo button. Imagine having that for your own miniatures. It's a bit of a yellowish gray, almost a beige. Rear naked choke. No, you shall be painted. I'm holding my breath. Usually don't do that when I'm painting. Oh, Jesus Christ. Stop it. Right. Yeah, and let's go for a highlight again. Because exactly what we need. Small dots on small details. Okay. That's 1 out of 3. Okay. Now I'm kind of torn. I wanted to do a red tone for the hairs. Let's see. I'm not quite sure if that works with the purple eyes. I'm also kind of tempted to give him purple hair, but are we going to do like 2 elements in purple in the face? I'll try the red and then we can always change it. I'm hoping you can do a couple of textures with the brush, since if you drag it across the surface quickly like this, you can do small little details. So I'm hoping we can have something that looks like the beginning of hair, strands, just reaching into the green. It's really similar to how real brushes work, because every brush has this typical brush stroke, depending of course how you hold it. And you can paint really bravely because you always have the undo button. After I found a good base color for the hair that would definitely fit with the scheme, I tried to stick to painting for effect, since that worked so well with the eyes. So I tried some dry brushing.
I think it works, but I think it only works because you have the shadows that never really get darker. So that's a bit of cheating.
What I ended up doing was drawing these dotted lines across the strands of hair. It's interesting that even though it's a different medium, the brushes still do behave similar in that the way you hold them and the way you drag them across the surface leaves very particular patterns, and you can use that to create interesting detail in both mediums. The only thing that's irritating is the lack of feedback. You're basically dragging your brush through the air and not across a surface that pushes back on the brush. But I guess such is the nature of virtual reality. I did my best to build a proper highlight pattern.
Just flicking the paint across. And maybe one more here. Yeah, that's good. Okay, no, I really like that.
The last tool I had to try on was the airbrush. I tested its behavior and patterns on the back of the Mini, but its main concept seemed to be quick paint application on large surfaces. However, I realized that the further away you use the airbrush, the more it would leave a splatter pattern. So again, trying to make the most out of the tools I had available, I tried to find an application for that.
Like a sniper.
The idea I had was to create an organic color pattern on the skin of the gnome, kind of like you see in exotic amphibians. I didn't want to spend too much time on the clothes and went for a simple brown rope and a brown pouch. And I also colored all of the cloth straps in a bright beige.
Why is there painting water, by the way? Does this do anything? No, doesn't thin it. Okay, good to know.
Obviously there was no metallics, so I had to work with non-metallic metal patterns on the swords. Again, the challenge was to create something like a transition on the blades, but luckily by now I already had experience with stippling and how I had to hold the brush to quickly create a dotted pattern. And in a way, not much changes when switching from real miniature painting to digital.
Okay, so it's just like with real paint, the brighter you go, the faster your value difference comes out, so the brighter colors look a lot brighter instantly.
I placed the brightest highlights and then worked a bit more on the transitions. It's really cool how this looks really similar to a real painted miniature dagger. I was slowly getting the hang of brush behavior and how I had to hold the brush and the Mini and how I had to move my hands, and it started to become real fun.
Yeah, this feels really satisfying.
Because the paint was finally starting to do what I wanted it to do, at least within the boundaries of the medium. Just like the face paint, I wanted to place a few sloppy markings on the clothes, like he drew them himself. Maybe it's the symbol of his tribe. And then I hit his face with the white paint.
My hand was flying off.
And I didn't even notice. When I finally noticed,
oh no. What did we do?
The undo button didn't reach far enough back, so I had to redo parts of the face and the hair. I guess some things really don't change, whether it's analog or digital mini painting. And that's as far as I wanted to take it in one session.
Okay, that was really fun, but also really straining.
So what do you say? Would you be interested in painting miniatures digitally? To me, it would become interesting once you could integrate the minis you painted right into your gaming scenarios. Just like with real Dungeons and Dragons, maybe once there are game modes available where a GM can customize their scenarios, being able to also customize the monsters or characters they're using in that scenario. In any case, this was a fun experience and I hope you enjoyed the video. I can see this evolving into something great, even if it's maybe not quite there yet. And in the meantime, it's a fun way to spend some time with your friends. And don't forget to check out Demeo. It's another great way to have fun with your friends. Keep pushing these pixels and I'll see you in the next video.